This girl report about 28 women were hospitalized due to using a Ouija board. And that shit triggered a memory, so
share. Like, we literally got infested with demon sickness. As far as...
And she ends up throwing up a bunch of black stuff, and she...
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome back to another episode of Spooky Stories. Now these are a little weird. I have to say, but go ahead and grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your smoke, grab your drink, whatever it is that you enjoy while watching me. Come on.
This is the first and last time that I've ever played with a Ouija board. I'm going to share my experience and kind of what happened and the creepy stuff that happened during and mostly after. It's possible that most of the things that happened to me are coincidental with just life being life. However, with everything that has kind of happened to me over this past year, ghost-wise, I kind of correlate the two. I mean, if you knock on the devil's door and you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. There is a reason why you're supposed to be educated when talking to the dead, because whenever you call upon the dead and you're completely uneducated and don't know what you're doing, you're essentially calling upon, and anybody could answer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I fully believe in all of that stuff. I'm very spiritual, so of course at first I was like, no, I'm not even gonna mess with it. Me and my friends had a couple drinks and we were bored, and it wasn't my idea, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And it was the three of us, and we asked the typical questions, and we just said, is anybody here? Do you have anything you want to say? And nothing happened. Nothing moved it. I just want to quickly add that there are rules to the Ouija board game. You're supposed to... There's specific rules to taking your fingers on and off. You can't just willingly take it off because you're essentially like opening up the portal or whatever. And I just want to say that one of my friends did take off their hands before saying goodbyes. It wasn't until the following week that I started having very weird dreams. Kind of just like I gave myself bad juju. Out of nowhere, I got diagnosed with epilepsy, even though my brain was completely fine. The worst year of my life, I guess, medical wise, and just really bad coincidences that happened. And my other two people in the friend group who played the board got diagnosed with like wild mental health issues. I'm not going to speak on that because it's not my business to share. Like, we literally got infested with demon sickness. As far as me personally, things started to progress more and more every single week, and I started to hear knocks of threes on my door. It actually was so bad that I had to move. If y'all are new here, then. And then what really freaked me out and like the tipping point of me actually moving was like a shadow seen in my video, and it kind of like peeked its head out, and after that I was horrified and I moved. Did I awaken something? Did I give myself an attachment? Or was this already going to manifest in some other way because I'm super spiritual and clairvoyant? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but my recommendation is just don't do it. It's not worth it.
This girl named Brooke emailed me and she was like, my friend became possessed and turned into a clown. So trigger warning on this one if you're afraid of clowns. The story is like really creepy, and I am going to include some images at the end. But basically this girl, I'm going to call her Brooke, told me she used to be friends with this girl named Kelsey. That's also a fake name. They've been friends forever. Kelsey was a very bright, bubbly, blonde hair, blue-eyed girl. She did send me some photos of Kelsey when she was younger. I don't feel comfortable including real photos of Kelsey because she doesn't know I'm posting this story. But just think this. I used AI to like generate this based on the photo she sent me. Beautiful, bubbly, you know, gorgeous girl. When Brooke and Kelsey met, they were in grade school, and Kelsey wasn't just beautiful and bubbly, she was also like very talented. She could play the piano, she could sing, she could draw. Her family was also wealthy. They had a pool, so Brooke loved going over to her house because she loved swimming, hanging out. She said although Kelsey's family was very nice, they were also very strict with what she could and couldn't eat, like no sugar. Granola mom household, right? Around the time they're 13, 14, they start having sleepovers with other girls at Kelsey's house. One of the girls one night brings over a Ouija board. Brooke says she's never really liked Ouija boards. She's very intuitive. She believes in the supernatural, so she just really didn't want to mess with it. She also said she's just kind of an unlucky person, and she just figured if she played with it, something bad would happen to her. So when these girls are playing with it, she's like, I'm not going to play with it. I'm going to go in the other room. But apparently after this night, Kelsey ends up loving the Ouija board. She's like, oh my God, I connected with such great spirits. I'm going to get one for myself. And she does. The girls are in high school. Their friendship continues, but Kelsey gets more and more into playing with Ouija boards, and she tells Brooke all about how she's connecting with certain friends, deceased grandparents, about certain entities who come to visit her at night on a regular basis and move things in her room. And she's just getting more and more into it. And Brooke's like, hey, I don't think you should be playing with it to the extent that you are. Like, maybe as a fun party game, She's just like, it's concerning that you're getting this into it. And Kelsey's like, no, like I have a gift and the Ouija board is just a tool that I use to help me develop this gift. And although it started as a hobby, her obsession with the Ouija board grows as they progress into high school. After high school, the girls end up going to different colleges, but they're still friends. And when they would get back together and hang out, that's when Brooke really noticed that Kelsey was going downhill. One of the times they hang out, Brooke brings Kelsey to a party and she ends up throwing up a bunch of black stuff. And she asks her, like, this is concerning, like, what's going on with you? And Kelsey just tells her, I have Lyme disease, which is like the first that she's ever heard of it. But she's like, I'm not going to question it. Like, maybe it was just the meds she's on. Like, who knows what's going on? But after Kelsey goes home, Kelsey's brother calls Brooke and just says basically, thank you for hanging out with her. A lot of her friends have stopped hanging out with her. Like, she's not the way that she used to be. She's not herself anymore. And Brooke said she was still trying to be like a good friend to Kelsey, but she also noticed that anytime they had a conversation, the conversations got really weird. Like, Kelsey would talk about spirits, she would talk about her gifts, she would talk about communicating with entities via the Ouija board. She said although she knew that this was something that Kelsey was into, she was like very alarmed because it was at this point where that's all Kelsey was talking about. So Brooke starts distancing herself from Kelsey. She said, of course I'm going to always love her. She's my friend, but also I was busy with college and I just really didn't have the time to like go through all of these conversations with her about spirit. One night when Brooke is at college, her mom calls her and she's like, hey, Kelsey just came to our house looking for you. Now Kelsey knew that Brooke was at college. Like, Kelsey hadn't lived there in years. And Brooke's mom's like, yeah, she was just asking for photos of you two when you were younger, so I just gave her a bunch of photos and sent her on her way. Mom also mentions to Brooke that she's very ill looking. She doesn't look like herself. Her face is sunken in, but Brooke is thinking that this is due to her illness, her Lyme disease. And she's like, oh, that's such a shame. I'll call her soon. A little while after that, one of their childhood friends' parent had passed away. So they both go to the funeral, and that's when Brooke sees Kelsey for the first time in a while. She said Kelsey had dyed her hair dark, like the light was gone from her eyes. She sent me photos of her around this time, and again, I don't feel comfortable sharing this girl's photo, but something looks off. Like, I don't know what it is. She just looks off in these pictures. Not long after that, she starts sending Brooke these handmade art pieces, which honestly give me the vibe of like the Joker, right? Like when he wrote like ha 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 all over the room, that's what it looks like. And Brooke doesn't respond to them. But then Kelsey starts posting photos of herself online dressed in clown makeup. It starts small at first, just with a little bit of face paint here and there. And she's writing all of her updates on social media in alternating lowercase and capital letters. A lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it's very conspiracy theory. She then goes full-blown clown. This isn't a real photo. This is also AI generated. I used the photos that Brooke sent me to generate this. This is an image of her art that she posted publicly. This isn't that far off from the photos that she's posting of herself on social media. This is also AI generated. I posted on my backup account a question this morning because I had a moral dilemma with this story because of the photos that Brooke included in the emails. This is obviously only Brooke's side of the story. We don't know what really happened to Kelsey. We don't know if it was Ouija board related. But either way, it seems like there was some mental break, which is why I didn't include the original photos that were sent. Either way, it just sounds like whatever happened to Kelsey, whether it was Ouija board related or not, is very sad, and I hope that she gets the help that she needs. But Brooke said she does still hear from Kelsey. All of her messages are cryptic, they make no sense, and she's just basically looking for advice on how to handle the situation. She does want to be a good friend, but she's also just at a loss for what to do at this point. If you want to submit a spooky series story time, the submission link is in my bio. This girl named Brooke emailed me and she was like, my friend became possessed and turned into a clown. So trigger warning on this one if you're afraid of clowns. The story is like really creepy, and I am going to include some images at the end. But basically this girl, I'm going to call her Brooke, told me she used to be friends with this.
I remember one time this girl had invited me to her party. Mind y'all, I did not know this girl like that. I had literally just met her at the job that I was working because I had only been there for like 2 weeks. But she was really cool, and we like clicked as soon as I started working with her. So I was like, okay, you cool. And she invited me to her little get-together, her little party. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll roll through. She said, oh, me and my friends do this like twice a year, and I think it'd be really fun if you came. I think you would really enjoy it. I think you would really think it was cool. I think you really like it. I said, okay, and I asked, I said, well, can I bring a +1? You know, because I don't know this girl like that, and I don't know your friends like that for real. So I don't want to be sitting there like looking like a bump on the fucking log because I don't know you bitches. She was like, oh, actually, it's no +1s this time because I really only got enough supplies for the people that I invited. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess. Now, mind you, I was already iffy about going in the first place because I couldn't bring no +1 and I don't know the rest of these bitches. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go because she cool. She invited me and it might be a good time. So the day of the party come, and on my way there, I'm just like, I had a feeling in my stomach. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm already on my way, so I'm finna go. But something ain't right. I just feel like it's just something that's not right about this motherfucking get together. But I'm already on my way. I already have bought my bottle. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just finna go. So, bitch, I pull up And it's a motherfucking vibe. It's nice. It's a really nice, quaint little get together. Like, people were so nice. They were really inviting. Like, it was a really decent time. So I'm thinking in my brain, like, bitch, maybe you was just overreacting. These people are really nice. Maybe it's because you didn't know these motherfuckers, that you was like overreacting, thinking that some shit was gonna go down, or you shouldn't be here. But bitch, it's cool. So I'm in the living room, sitting down, scrolling my phone. And old girl who invited me, let's call her Marley. Marley comes over to me and she sits down and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you could make it. I'm so glad you could be here. Oh, the fun's gonna begin in like just a little bit." I'm like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" She's like, "Oh, we're just gonna do the tradition that we always do at these parties." So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm always down to see different traditions. Like, this is cool. So all of a sudden, the music gets turned down and everybody starts migrating to this back room. So Marley looks at me and she's like, "Okay, come on." So I'm like, okay. So I get up and I follow her to this back room. Mind you, in this back room, there's literally nothing but a table in the middle with some chairs around it. That's it. There's nothing else in this room but tables and chairs. And the windows are blocked out. The windows are blocked out in this room. So mind you, as soon as I get back there, I start getting bad vibes because I'm like, what the fuck do y'all be doing in this back room? But I'm trying not to make alarms because everybody's talking about tradition. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to disrespect anybody's tradition, so I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to see what they do. Why in the fuck do these people sit around this motherfucking table and that bitch pull out a Ouija board? Why did that bitch pull out a Ouija board? And I promptly said, "Oh, fuck no." And I got the fuck up and I walked out that room. So, oh, girl gonna run after me and she's like, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" I'm like, bitch, is you cool? I'm not doing this shit. Like, what is wrong with y'all? This is what you call tradition? She's like, "Yeah, I thought you'd be into stuff like this." I said, "What the fuck would make you think something like that?" She's like, "Well, because you're into horror and dark stuff and like that's what you do, that's who you are." And I said, "Yes, but I'm into it enough to know you don't fuck with Ouija boards unless you really know what the fuck you're doing. And I guarantee you, y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing." Why did this bitch tell me? She's like, "Well, we just use it to see what we can see and who we can talk to." And I said, "That's the reason why I know you don't know what the fuck you're doing, because you don't use a Ouija board willy-nilly. You don't just use it to, oh, let me see who I can contact." No, bitch. You use it for specific reasons and specific reasons only in specific intentions. Y'all don't know what you're doing. I would never. I know enough to know you should never do that. And to use my love of horror against me like that is crazy. And what's really crazy is that the next week at work, she never came. And literally, she never came back to that job. And she was there at that job for almost a year, and she just never came back. And I asked the manager, because I'm cool as a bitch with the manager, and I said, "What happened to Marley?" And he's like, "I don't know. Like, she just stopped showing up." I said, "Like a no-call, no-show?" And he's like, "And that's not like her. Like, she just literally stopped showing up." I never saw that girl again. Thank God.
So I just seen on my For You page this girl report about 28 women were hospitalized due to using a Ouija board. And that shit triggered a memory. So, story time. It's 2007 or 8. I go over my friend's house. It's a Friday. We're after school. We're hanging out. I remember when I was on my way to her house, I was listening to Paramore's Miseries. So that had to be 2007. I don't know why I'm adding that. I just want y'all to have a little bit more detail. So boom, I go over her house. We're all making strawberry shortcake. I call my mom. I'm like, "Ma, I'm gonna be at my friend's house till later on tonight. I'll be home in a little while." My mom said, "I don't know about that shit, but bring your ass home in a timely manner." I'm like, "Cool," but it's fall, so you know it gets dark early. And I'm a scary ass bitch, so I'm like, I'm gonna be home way before then. The mom goes upstairs because she's tired, so we start to pull out the stuff from the fridge to make the strawberry shortcake. As we do that, as we're washing her hands, she proceeds to pull out a bag that has a game board in it. And this bitch pulls out a brand new Ouija board. I said, "Bitch, where you get that from?" That bitch at a toy store. Little did I know that toy stores actually make those as board games. But I know about that shit because I come from a spiritual family who knows better. So my friend who house we're at, she's like, "Who wants to play before we do the strawberry shortcake?" But of course, everybody else is like, "Well, let's just try it out." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll watch. Y'all do it." 20 minutes go by and I'm just waiting for the strawberry shortcake because, bitch, that's my motive for being here. They're doing it and no activity happens. So I'm like, "Can we finally make the dessert?" And they're like, "Fine, okay." The girl goes to lift up the board to fold it back up and put it in a box. The bottom is black. And when I mean black like it was burnt underneath. Like if you have a candle that's sitting too low underneath something, all the smoke would turn it black. And once again, it was on the table the whole time. We were all watching it. I was watching it. They was touching it. And it was cardboard, so I'm not gonna act like it was something that was like solid wood and shit. Like, it was brand new. I seen her take it out the wrapping and everything. It wasn't that. So, bitch, I'm all looking like, girl, this shit is too much for me. So, an hour later goes by. We're eating the strawberry shortcake. But when I get nervous or when I just get anxious, I got the feeling like I have to poop even when I don't. TMI, I know, I'm sorry. So I go to her downstairs bathroom, which is by the back door, and I hear knocking at the door. So I wash my hands, leave out the bathroom, and I'm like, who's knocking at the door? You know, because I'm not going to open up somebody else's door because this ain't my house. And the girls is like, bitch, we ain't hear nobody. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I go to sit down. 5 minutes later, I hear knocking at the back door. This time, the mom's upstairs. She's like, can somebody answer that fucking door? And the daughter's like, Ma, there's nobody knocking at the door. But I heard it and the mom heard it. I've had a lot of supernatural experiences that have knocking involved in them. She opens up the back door, a cold wind comes in. It was fall, it could have been that. But me? I'm so fucking scared, I leave immediately. Left so fast, I left my house key, so I'm knocking at my front door like, Ma, let me in. My mom opens up the door to let me in. I walk past her and she stops me. She says, oh, come back here real quick.
Do you guys believe in the boogeyman? Do you believe if you go in the bathroom, turn off the light, and say boogeyman 5 times that he will appear in front of you? Well, this is exactly what happened to Ken Williams. Ken Williams was a friend of my dad's, so I'm back with another story from my dad. And don't worry, this one is definitely going to keep you up late tonight. So Kim was my dad's very first girlfriend, and they met when they were both in the 8th grade. Now, Kim and my dad met when they were in the 8th grade. I think they both was around 14 at the time, and fall was near, so it was like a great time for the kids. This was the perfect time of the year that all the kids would, gather at each other's houses and meet up and play games and stuff like that and whatnot. But Kim, on the other hand, she was a very shy girl. She really didn't have a lot of friends, and she also kept to herself in school. And she was kind of known as like the quiet girl in the school. When people would ask to describe Kim, they would describe her as, oh, the one that doesn't talk, or oh, the one that's shy, or the one that just sits in the back of the classroom and never say anything to people. But other than her being shy and quiet, Kim was extremely beautiful. A lot of guys in the school actually had a big crush on Kim, including my dad. Now, Kim and my dad lived right across the street from each other, so parents kind of knew each other, and I think that's how Kim and my dad started talking. And that's when he told me that like one day Kim had came over to the house for dinner, and then ever since then Kim and my dad became close and they started dating. Now, Kim would tell my dad things like she feels like she's so different, and she feels like she doesn't fit in, and she doesn't have any friends, and no one even tried to talk to her. And my dad will say, well, you're more than welcome to, come hang out at my friend's house. I have a lot of friends. I'm pretty sure they will like you. Like, you're actually a really nice person. I don't know why you don't talk to people. Kim thought this was a great idea. She thought it was the perfect way to start making friends around the school and not only be known for being like quiet and shy. Now, Kim and my dad did a lot of things together, and one of their favorite things to do was walk in the graveyard at nighttime. Now, I don't know if this was something that used to scare them, because I asked my dad, I'm like, why did you guys used to walk in the graveyard? And he's like, that's what Kim liked doing. Like, she was just such a weird person, but she was also really nice and sweet. So Kim had a love for all things horror movies, Halloween, anything of that nature Kim loved. And one day she begged my dad to walk in the graveyard with her at night. So that's exactly what they did. And he said they only did it around 2 times because when they walked together, it was extremely creepy. And he just was like, yeah, I didn't like the feeling. So I told her I didn't really, feel comfortable walking in the graveyard. So she eventually made me stop. Now, fast forward a couple months later, Kim and my dad have been dating for around 2 months now. It is now October, and it is Halloween. So Halloween was Kim's favorite holiday. Me too, girl. I love Halloween. But Halloween was Kim's favorite holiday. And so now
at this time, Kim had been going around my dad's friend groups, and she's been getting to know like a few people, and a few people have been trying to get to know her back, and she's been making friends slowly. So there was this big Halloween party coming up, and Kim was super excited because she knew that there were going to be a lot of people there, and you know, my dad was going to be with her, and they were just going to go and have a good time, and it was just going to be such a great night. So Kim got ready. She got dressed all up in her costume. So did my dad, and my dad went over to their friend's house. Now, the party is lit. Everyone's having fun, and, you know, now it's time to play Truth or Dare. So this is when the story kind of takes a dark turn. So all the kids gather in the living room. They all like sit in a circle and they start playing Truth or Dare. And basically one of the kids dared Kim to play with the Ouija board. They said, Kim, you're not afraid of anything. Like, you know, you like this dark shit. You like horror. So why don't you play with a Ouija board? Like, my mom has one upstairs. And Kim was like, yeah, but I never really played with a Ouija board before. I mean, isn't that supposed to like conjure up like bad spirits? And the girl goes, well, I mean, I don't know. My mom plays with it to talk to my granddad, but I mean, maybe you should try. Basically, she was basically peer pressuring Kim to play with the Ouija board, and Kim didn't want to look like a loser. She didn't want to look like she was a chicken, she was a punk, or she was a loser. So she put her pride aside, and she was like, okay, I'm going to play with the Ouija board. The girl goes upstairs and gets the Ouija board and sits it right in front of Kim, and she says, do you have anyone that died? Do you have any spirit you like to connect to? And Kim goes, I don't have anyone in my family that died, but I can maybe try to reach out to, I don't know, like my dead dog. And everyone literally laughed at her. They goes, your dead dog? Seriously? You're going to try to connect with your dead dog? You don't have anyone? And she's like, no, I don't have anyone. So the girl goes, okay, how about we try to talk to my grandpa? How about we try to connect with my grandpa, try to, you know, talk to him. So everyone is kind of getting tense, and the girl, she goes in her house and she cuts off the living room light. So now it's dark in the living room, and it's only like a little small light lit in the kitchen. So she says, all right, go ahead, Kim, it's your turn. Play with the Ouija board. Say something like, is there a spirit here with us right now? Kim was very hesitant, and she was very scared, and she looked over at my dad, and my dad shook his head like, no, don't do it. And she said, I'll be fine. Like, trust me. Like, it's just a joke, right? It's just a game. So she goes and she starts to play with the Ouija board. Now she's playing with the Ouija board. She's asking it questions. She's doing whatever it do. And at first she was kind of making the Ouija board move with her hand by herself. But then she asked the Ouija board, she went, if there's a spirit here, make yourself known. And then that's when the light cut off in the kitchen too. Everyone got so scared, but they were all so quiet. No one didn't want to scream or run or even leave the house because they didn't want to like a chicken or a punk, or they didn't want to like a scaredy cat. So you got to understand, like, these are kids. So everyone wanted to fit in. They wanted to be cool. They wanted to be liked. They wanted to have friends. So everyone just kind of stayed there. But when the light cut off in the kitchen and Kim's hand moved to yes, she freaked the fuck out. Like, she was terrified. She was on the verge of tears, and she wanted to stop. And she looked over at the girl that made her do it, and the girl said, nah, don't chicken out now. You have to talk to the spirit. So Kim continued asking the spirit questions, and her hand continuously continued to shakingly move across the board. Finally, when she was done, she said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. Like, you guys are forcing me to do something. I don't want to do it. The girl went, I'm not forcing you. It was your choice. You said you would do it. We're not forcing you to do anything. This girl was very mean. She was very hostile. She was said to be known as a bully. That's what my dad told me. He was like, this was a bully in the school. So like, she was making Kim do this, and like, this girl was known to bully people into doing things they didn't want to do. So finally, when the game was over, Kim sat on the couch, and for the rest of the night, she was completely quiet. But the game of Truth or Dare kept going. So it landed back on Kim again. And I don't know if these kids were all just like picking on Kim, but when my dad was telling me this story, I kind of really felt very bad, because I'm like, why do these kids keep messing with Kim? And it landed on Kim, and they dared Kim to go in the bathroom, cut off the lights, and say boogeyman 5 times. She was like, oh, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I just play with a Ouija board. Like, why would I want to go in the bathroom and say it? Well, they pressured her into saying it. And everyone in the home, right, except my dad. My dad was actually like, you know what, I think we should leave. It's actually getting pretty dark. She looked at my dad and she was like, no, I mean, I'm going to show them that I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you guys, okay? You guys are not going to scare me with some fake boogeyman game. Like, if I did the Ouija board, I could do this. This is nothing. Like, this is nothing. I can do this. So this is exactly what Kim did. And this would change her life forever. She walked upstairs. She went in the bathroom by herself. The kids were standing outside of the bathroom. So it was like a whole group, like crowded on the stairs, like outside of the bathroom. Kim was in the bathroom by herself. She was very nervous and very scared. She cut off the light and she closed her eyes. And she began to chant boogeyman 5 times. Boogeyman. I'm not going to say it 5 times, but you guys know that she said it 5 times. And what ends up happening next changed her life forever. Come back for part 2.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in the bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.